today with Tobias Cron of Power Skeleton. How are you doing today, Tobias?
I'm doing quite all right.
I have some questions for you. How did Power Skeleton come into existence?
Well, basically, Power Skeleton was kind of forged from the ashes of the band The Mobius Root, which I was in before, with Kevin Doyle, and the bass player and the drummer, they went on to other projects, but Kevin and I felt it was important to keep going, and we wanted to do something new. And part of what we wanted to do was improv stuff, and we called it Mad Scientist Rock. One of the things that really influenced me for it was watching the documentary We Jam Econo with the Minutemen, and learning that one of their classic albums was completed in 2 weeks. 52 songs in 2 weeks. We figured we could do an album in 7 hours. So we did. We did Power Skeleton 1 in 7 hours. The band was actually named by my son Lucian, and he also participates in the band. So we just went for mad scientist, disco, metal, improv, and that's how it started.
Devil Tree at Chihuahua.
Can you tell me a little bit about the different members in the band?
Well, I mentioned Kevin Doyle. He plays keyboard, bugle, and whatever else he can get his hands, rather. He has 2 of them. Lucian Mars, my son, he also plays, and he plays percussion and keyboards and pretty much anything else. My second album that I did was with Andrew Hauk, who's in the band Ghost Power from Wenatchee. And we did the same thing. We made an album in 8 hours. The third one was with TJ Dunbaden, who is of Ballard Trainwreck. And since that time, I've worked with Lee of Goose Stab, and I've never even met him in person. We've just collaborated, and he sent me material that I've manipulated and vice versa. And I've also been lucky enough to work with Matt Estrada, aka Necronoma Conway Twitty. He sent me some good tapes, and I've just been happy to collaborate with anybody and everybody as long as it kind of fits into the aesthetic that we're looking for, which is chaotic and definitely improv based.
So how did you get into doing film scores?
Well, actually, you know, the seed had been germinating in my mind for years, and part of that was Kevin and I, before we had even been in a band, we would get drunk and we'd beat on the strings of this old piano with drumsticks, and we thought it sounded like horror movie music, and we loved it. We always talked about, oh, it would be great to do a score and get into making that kind of music. And when we ended up doing a lot of stuff, we kept thinking, oh, that'd be good in a horror movie. And finally one day I just decided that nobody's going to find me for it. I have to go looking. And I did. I joined a couple different websites for independent horror filmmakers, and was lucky enough to stumble upon Derek Pertell, who directed Schism, starring Lynn Lowry. And he liked what we were after. We had similar influences, and we had a similar taste for cinema. And I just went for it. We, you know, pretty much anybody and everybody that I could contributed to it. And my strategy for that was, rather than do it exactly for scene, kind of see what he was after and give him a huge amount of material that he could cull through and choose, because he's on the other side of the country as us. Once again, haven't even met him, so but it was definitely a pleasure doing it, and I look forward to doing more, that's for sure.
Can you tell me some of the historical highlights of the band thus far?
Yeah, I mean, we've played a couple outdoor festivals with my son, and one of the greatest shows we did was just Kevin and I at the Blue Moon Tavern in Seattle, where we just had this crazy energy, and it just made people laugh and pee their pants. It was a blast. The other good one was, in addition to the film score, was this year Power Skeleton was asked to play the International Noise Conference in Spokane, Washington, and that was a blast. I felt like I was meeting people from a lost tribe of weirdos, and that's kind of what I'm going for. I don't really want to follow any genre, or I'm really into the gospel of weirdness.
All right, one more question for you today. What is the future of Power Skeleton?
I want to do more collaborations with other artists that have similar ideals. I want to do stuff with the people I've already made records with, but I want to get ambitious with it and eventually contact musicians that are more well known, that would probably be, I think I would love to make an album with Beck. I would love to make an album with Devo. I would love to make an album with Old Dirty Bastard, but he's dead, so that's not going to happen. We'll just throw it out there. I want to do more records and I want to do more film scores and leave behind a legacy of music that is both strange, funny, heavy, and beautiful.
All right, well, thank you, Tobias, for taking time out of your day.
Thank you.